Have you ever poured your heart out trying to guide your teen only to be met with an exaggerated eye roll that screams, not this again? It's frustrating, right? But what if I told you that eye roll is actually a clue to unlocking deeper communication with your teenage? I'm Andy Earl. After years as a researcher studying teenage behavior, I now host the Talking to Teens podcast, where I've interviewed over 300 of the world's leading experts in communication, parenting, and adolescence. In this video, we'll explore the psychology behind teenage eye rolls, and you'll see how you can use the power of relevance to unlock deeper communication with your teen. Why do teens roll their eyes at us? Is it because they're moody or disrespectful? Not exactly. More often than not, it's because our words don't feel relevant to them. There are three main factors that create a feeling of relevance: social proof, which is the idea that we look to others to guide our behavior; goal alignment, which is about framing your communication so it aligns with something your teenager already wants; and novelty value, which is about presenting your ideas in a way that feels fresh and different. When we fail to incorporate these three elements into our communication, our words are not going to feel relevant and we're going to risk getting met with an eye roll. Let's start by looking at social proof and why it's such a powerful motivating factor in teenage behavior. Imagine you're at a new restaurant for the first time and you're not sure what to order. You look around you and you realize that everybody else all seems to be really enjoying this same dish. All of a sudden, that dish starts to look a lot more appealing, right? Psychologist Robert Cialdini has found people are much more likely to engage in a behavior if they believe that others, and especially others they see as being similar to themselves, are engaging in that behavior. For teenagers, this means they're very tuned into what other kids in their social group are doing. Leveraging social proof in communication can work well for things like marketing, but as a parent, trying to incorporate social proof into your communications can really backfire. Trying to tell your teenager that other kids in their class are all studying really hard for a big test, or all their friends are trying out for the cross country team, this might just trigger an eye roll because you are not a credible source of what's cool among their peer group. In fact, they might even perceive it as a clumsy attempt at manipulation, which could further undermine the perceived relevance of your message. So, if we can't rely on social proof, what can we do to make our message more relevant to our teenagers? That's where the second factor of relevance, goal alignment, comes in. Have you ever given your teenager advice you thought was pure gold only to have them completely ignore it? The problem might be goal alignment. Psychologist Tory Higgins and his colleague have found that people are much more engaged and motivated when a message matches their regulatory focus or their preferred way of pursuing goals in their life. Some people, known as promotion focused, are more motivated by aspirations, goals, and accomplishments. These are the go-getters. Others, known as prevention focused, are more concerned with responsibility, safety, avoiding loss. They're the careful planners. Higgins found that when the framing of a message is aligned with someone's regulatory focus, it feels much more persuasive and relevant. So if your teenager is really stressed out and nervous about an upcoming test, that suggests more of a prevention focus. Talking about how it's going to help them increase their rank in the class or help them get ahead is probably not going to align. Instead, you might want to offer them some strategies to help them feel more in control or be better prepared. The key is to understand what motivates your teenager and talk in terms of that. So what happens when we miss the mark in terms of goal alignment? That's when we're going to see an eye roll. Imagine you're trying to lose weight and your fitness fanatic friend keeps trying to convince you to train for a marathon. After a while, you'd probably start to roll your eyes and tune out their suggestions, right? It's not that you don't value fitness, it's just that their suggestions aren't aligning with what you're looking for right now. This same thing happens when our advice is not aligned with what our teenager wants in their life. They disengage because it doesn't feel relevant to their world. If your teenager's main concern is fitting in socially, then a lecture about the long-term importance of getting good grades is not really going to get through. We need to find ways to meet our teenager where they're at and talk in terms of the things that they want in their life. Okay, so we've covered social proof and goal alignment, but there's one more key to relevance, and that is novelty. Think about the last time you were in a boring meeting or class and the presenter kept droning on and on about something you already knew. Did you find yourself maybe zoning out, doodling, or even reaching for your phone? That's because our brains are wired to pay attention to new and surprising information. It's a survival mechanism. We're constantly scanning our environment for changes that might signal opportunities or threats. Neuroscientist Wolfram Schultz and his team have discovered that the brain's reward centers light up like a Christmas tree in response to unexpected rewards. But when something becomes predictable, those same neurons quickly adapt and quiet down. This is why your teenager might roll their eyes when you remind them for the 100th time to clean their room or do their homework. It's not novel anymore. It's just white noise. Their brain has heard it all before, and it's looking for something new and interesting to pay attention to. So how can we cut through the noise and avoid that novelty-related eye roll? We need to find fresh ways to frame our messages and engage our teenagers' curiosity. Instead of falling back over and over again on the same old lectures and ideas, try introducing a new perspective or sharing a new fact. For instance, did you know that reading a book for just 6 minutes can reduce stress levels by 68%? That's more than listening to music, having a cup of tea, or even going for a walk. Or how about this? The average person spends nearly 10 years of their life staring at screens. Wow, that adds up to a lot of time, huh? When you can share something new, rather than just saying, hey, you should really read more, hey, you're using your phone too much, you might be more likely to get your teen's attention. Now that we've explored each of the 3 components of relevance, let's bring it all together with a real-world example. Imagine you're trying to convince your teenager to wear their bike helmet, but every time you bring it up, you get an eye roll. But it's not cool. It messes up my hair. None of my friends wear one. Instead of just giving them the same old safety lecture over and over, try something like this. Hey, I know we talked a lot about helmets protecting your head, but there's actually a bigger life lesson here. Choosing to wear a helmet even when your friends aren't shows that you're confident in your decisions and what's right for you. It's not about being cool. It's about being true to yourself, and that takes guts. It's way easier to just follow the crowd. But when you can stand up for what you believe in, even in the face of peer pressure, that's a skill that will serve you so well for the rest of your life. From resisting cheating to turning down drinks to getting out of awkward sexual situations. These are the skills that will allow you to go after your dreams in life. Trusting your own judgment and staying true to your values, that's the mark of an independent thinker. Sure, it may not make you the most popular kid sometimes, but the people who really matter, the ones who have your back, they'll respect the hell out of you for it. So yeah, I get it. Helmets aren't always fun, but I'm so proud of you for just considering it. It shows me you're growing into a young adult who thinks for yourself, and I'm always in your corner for that. So there you have it. The 3 keys to relevance: social proof, goal alignment, and novelty. By tapping into these 3 psychological principles, we can transform eye roll inducing lectures into deep, meaningful conversations with our teenagers. Remember, it's not about asserting our authority, but understanding their world and tapping into what matters most to them. If you found this helpful, please like the video and subscribe to our channel for more science-backed parenting tips. And join me tomorrow when we'll dive into another fascinating aspect of parent-teen communication. Until then, keep listening, keep learning, and keep connecting with your amazing eye-rolling kid.